Hi library friends, this is Miss Cindy from the Crown Point Community Library, and today I am bringing the library into your home to introduce a special event. So I don't know if you know about this, but coming up in February, celebrated on February 12th this year, is a special day, and it goes by 3 different names. So you may hear the word Chinese New Year, or you may hear Lunar New Year, or you may hear Spring Festival, but it all means the same thing. It began 2,000 years ago, and it's a festival that's celebrated in China and in other Asian countries, and it is celebrated based on the lunar calendar. And lunar means moon, so it's based on the moon. So when we start a new year, the lunar calendar looks at when the phases of the moon. So the Lunar New Year begins with the first new moon, which a new moon, this is kind of a weird thing, but a new moon is actually when there's no moon in the sky. So when there's no moon, that's a new moon. And then it ends on when we have our first full moon. So as the moon changes, when you look up in the sky, so at the new moon, there's no moon, and then the moon slowly gets bigger and bigger and bigger until it's a full moon. And that takes about 15 to 16 days for that to happen. So this is a festival that goes on for about 15 days in length, and will be celebrated this year on February 12th, 2021. Every year, so on Lunar New Year or in the Chinese New Year, there is an animal that is represented. So it's the year of the animal, and there are 12 different animals that are part of the Chinese zodiac. And this year, our animal for this year it's the year of the ox. So I hope you stopped by the library, and I hope you picked up a bag to take home that has all the supplies that you need so that you can make this ox. I will be showing you how to do that in a little bit, but I would like to share a story with you first. Neon, the Chinese New Year Dragon, written by Virginia Low Hagen. Illustrated by Timothy Banks. It's adapted from a Chinese legend and published by Sleeping Bear Press. Neon, the Chinese New Year Dragon, a beastly tale. May hated springtime. Springtime meant that Neon was hungry. Neon was the fierce dragon that used to rule the land until a magical warrior put a spell on him. Because of this spell, Neon was forced to hide in a mountain under the sea. But every spring, Neon came out to fill his empty stomach. He especially loved to eat little boys and girls. May was scared. Her whole village was scared. They could hear the rumbling of Neon's stomach. That's how they knew that winter was over and spring was coming. The night before the first day of spring, the magical warrior visited May in her dreams. The warrior said to May, "Hundreds of years have passed and a new year is coming. Neon's power grows stronger and my spell grows weaker each year. I can no longer keep him in the mountain and under the sea. You must defeat Neon. You must do this in 15 days, or Neon will be free forever. My cane will help you." May asked, "Why me?" "You were born in the year of the golden dragon. It is your destiny." When May woke up the next morning, the magical warrior's walking cane was next to her pillow. "May!" Mama yelled. "Wake up! Neon is on his way! We must flee! We must hide!" Mama herded the animals into the barn. "Hurry! Neon will devour anything in his way. He will eat our livestock and crops with his huge mouth. He can swallow many villagers in one bite." May had lost her father and little brother to Neon's mighty jaws the year before. May helped Mama hide, but then she remembered the warrior's cane and ran to get it. "I'll be right back." May stopped in her tracks. She heard a terrible roar and smelled a terrible smell. Neon made his way toward May. She could see his sharp teeth and claws. She could see his long, slimy tongue. May grabbed the cane. She also grabbed a cooking pot and banged it with the cane. She yelled, "Neon, go away! You are not wanted here!" Neon covered his ears with his big paws. He did not like the noise. That gave May a wonderfully noisy idea. She yelled to the other villagers, "Make a lot of noise!" And the villagers obeyed. They banged pots, they clanged pans, they hollered, they hooted, they threw firecrackers at Neon. And Neon fled back to his mountain under the sea. For 5 days the villagers were happy. They drummed their drums and gonged their gongs. They whooped and hollered and laughed and loudly, really loudly, just in case Neon was listening. The villagers thanked May by giving her a beautiful silk robe. May was wearing the flowing red robe when she heard the screams and roars. Neon had returned even hungrier and angrier than before. He packed his ears with cotton to block out the noise. May didn't have time to run. She threw a lantern at Neon. She covered herself with her red robe. Neon shielded his eyes from the redness of the robe and the brilliance of the fire. He backed away in fear. That gave May a wonderfully bright idea. She said to the villagers, "Wear your brightest reds and shine your brightest lights." The villagers obeyed. They wore their reddest clothes. They hung red banners on their windows and doors. They placed bright lanterns everywhere. May cut a piece of her red robe and made a flag. She attached the magical cane, and she waved it to shoo Neon away. Neon fled back to his mountain under the sea. For 5 days, the villagers were delighted. They dyed all their clothes red, and they burned fires all day and all night, just in case Neon was watching. On the 10th night, the magical warrior once again appeared in May's dreams. "Neon is coming back, and he wants revenge. Be very careful. Remember, you only have 5 more days to defeat him." May knew that she had been lucky the first 2 times. This time she needed a plan, so she came up with a wonderfully tricky idea. May took all the food in her house and put it in red bags and stuffed them into a scarecrow. She dressed the scarecrow in her old clothes. She placed the scarecrow in front of her door, and she told the villagers to do the same. The villagers obeyed. At the last minute, May shoved the warrior's cane inside the scarecrow. On the 15th day, Neon returned. He had covered his eyes with long lashes and packed his ears with cotton. The dragon stormed into the village. His jaws chomped on the scarecrows that had been filled with food. When he got to May's scarecrow, he choked on the cane, and the cane then magically turned into a leash. The magical warrior from May's dreams suddenly appeared. He captured Neon with the leash. "Neon is conquered. He'll never be evil again. You've brought us good luck and fortune, May. You've fulfilled your destiny. Now I'll fulfill mine." The magical warrior mounted Neon, and together they turned into a stone statue in the middle of the village. The villagers were overjoyed that Neon was defeated, and they held a party in May's honor. They put food offerings in front of their houses. They lit lanterns. They threw firecrackers. They dressed in red. Some villagers dressed up as Neon and did a little dance. They celebrated a year without fear of the dragon. "Gongzi, gongzi, congratulations," the villagers heralded their heroine May. Neon never harmed the villagers again. From then on, at the start of every spring, the villagers celebrated May chasing out Neon. They made lots of noise, they wore a lot of red, and they lit a lot of lanterns. And every spring, May gave a food offering to the statue of Neon and the magical warrior, just in case. We're back. I hope you enjoyed the story. I want to show you what you have in your bag. So if you stopped by the library and picked up a bag, I want to show you what was inside. There is some information about the Year of the Ox, what that means. You will receive a bookmark that has the ox on it. You will find in your bag, you will find a red envelope. Red envelopes are a symbol that are used. It's something that is given out to people during the Lunar New Year. And inside, you notice the ox on there, and inside there is usually some type of gift. So you will find a special little gift inside that envelope. And then there will be a template, so if you want to make your own red envelope that you can make, and you can put something inside and give it to somebody else. And then you have all the pieces you have to make your Year of the Ox lantern, paper lantern. And what that looks like, so you will have a piece of paper that looks like this. It's a brown construction paper with lots of lines. What you're going to do in order to make this lantern is the first thing you're going to fold it in half long ways. Fold it in half, so now I have half lines. And then you're going to take your scissors and you are going to cut along the lines, but don't go all the way through the paper. So see where the line ends? That's where you want to stop. And we folded it in half to make it easier for us to cut. So we're going to cut all the way to where the line ends. Remember, don't go all the way through your paper. And if you do by mistake, you could get some tape and put it back together. All right, so almost done. All right, once you've cut through all of those, you're gonna open it back up, and now we're gonna fold it the opposite direction. And we're gonna do this because you can still see the black lines on there from where I marked it with a Sharpie. And I did that so that it would be easy for you to see to cut, but we don't want that, we don't wanna see that on our lantern. So I'm just flipping it the opposite direction and then going ahead and folding all of those. So now it looks like this. I'm gonna take this is gonna be my lantern, and just glue the two, make it into a tube, glue the two sides together, and there's my paper lantern. So you will need scissors, you will need a glue stick or glue. Yes, you could use tape also. So that is my lantern. So that's in your bag, and then you'll have, this is the handle, this is what goes on top. This is a piece of brown paper that you can use to create some ears for your ox. The white paper will be to create his horns and then his eyes. I suggest you also have a black Sharpie or a black magic marker, so you can do if you want to put black in his eyes. And then there's a piece of pink paper, so you can cut out an oval and create his snout. And again, you can just use your black magic marker to draw that on. And then if you look back at this paper that was inside your bag or your bookmark, you'll see that this is the Chinese symbol for how to write the word ox in Chinese. So you have a red circle, and you'll notice I went ahead and did the symbol for ox, and I just put it on here to put a tag on there to say, this is my lantern for the Year of the Ox. Okay, so why do we celebrate the Year of the Ox? I mentioned that there are, it's one of the signs of the Chinese zodiac. There are 12 different animals, and so every year it's the year of whatever animal it is that year, and they go in a specific order. So the order, there's a lot of stories and myths and legends about how this came to be. So I'm just going to share one with you, and you may have heard a different version or something a little bit different than what I'm going to say, because there are different versions of the story. So about 2,000 years ago, the Jade Emperor decided that he needed some animals to guard his palace. So he decided to have a race. So he let it be known that he was having a race amongst the animals, and that would decide who would be his 12 guards at his palace. So the animals took off, and ox was the fastest and was making the most, got started right away and was in the lead. However, they got to a river, and when they got to the river, rat was right behind him and decided that he was scared to cross this river, so he jumped up onto the ox's back and kind of hit there on top of, like up by his ear, so that he could get across the river without drowning. Well, when they got to the other side, rat, when they were really close to the palace, rat jumped off the off of Ox's head and ran ahead really fast and got to the palace first. So the year of the rat, so last year was the first year, and the rat is the first place, so the first animal on the zodiac. Ox came in second. Third was tiger, who was followed by rabbit, and then dragon. And the emperor felt that tiger would be the king of the forest and dragon would be the king of the sea. And then following behind that were snake, horse, sheep, monkey, rooster, and then dog, because dog got pushed back near the end because dog, I guess, bit the rabbit, and so that made the emperor a little bit upset, so he pushed him back. And then the pig is the last animal. So those are the animals, the 12 animals that are in the Chinese zodiac, and this year is the year of the ox, which is the second of the animals. So then next year would be the year of the tiger. So every year it will change. And it is believed that the different animals have different characteristics. And the ox is hardworking, he's dependable, and he's trustworthy. So that is our ox. And I want to just show you, we do have a world language section at the library, and I want to show you a book from that section. This is called The Little Pigs and the Sweet Rice Cakes. And the neat thing about this story, so it's about the three little pigs, but it's a little bit different. It's about their rice cakes. But on each page you have the English words and you have the Chinese characters. So you can see what it would look like if you wrote it in Chinese, which I just think is really cool. So this book can be found in our world language section, where we have books that are written in other languages other than just English. Well, thank you for joining me today. I hope you learned a lot about the Chinese or Lunar New Year, and I hope you got your bag, and I hope you have a good time digging through, making your lantern, and on February 12th, celebrate. You can go online and look up how to say Happy New Year in Chinese, and then you can tell people that you know how to say it. I'm going to go ahead and attempt it, and hopefully I'll say it right. To say Happy New Year, it is Xin Yan Kuala. Happy New Year.